So I'm here now in Chiang Mai. I'm part of the IDOP program, where this year I'm actually one of the mentor monks. The experience so far has been amazing. For me, I can create beautiful videos or beautiful images, tell beautiful story, but that's not what it's about. For me, what it's about is the human experience. My thing that interests me the most and what I'm passionate about is to show the human transformation process. Someone coming to Thailand, someone coming to ordain as a Buddhist monk, they have an experience of inner peace. They actually get to touch meditation themselves and to see how they actually transform and shift in themselves. The change process, the healing process, the purification process, to me, talking to a real person is more effective. So everyone can kind of learn together and really hear someone's journey, real life. And I think that would be helpful for anyone who's watching out there who might not have the courage to transform and to change, but please come along with us and to see when someone has the courage to pursue that deeper part of themselves, to pursue change, to be able to let go of their old beliefs and their old way of doing things, how that can shift your entire world. And for me, I'm excited to introduce you to one of the Dhammadayadas. His name is Ryan, and I think you can benefit a lot from hearing his story and his journey, and we're in it now, and the process of change and transformation alone is probably more important than just the end product. So please come along and we'll go meet Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ryan. It's funny because about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, I'm not sure the timeline, we were actually in California in Azusa at the
As lay
temple.
people.
As lay people,
Yeah.
sitting down, filming an episode for one of my YouTube videos. And then now, here we are in Thailand, ordained
As
as a
monks.
Buddhist monk in the IDOP program. But can you share your experience now as a monk here in Chiang Mai?
This has been an incredible program. The people that you meet and the discipline and the structure, it just really helps with your practice. It helps you become still. It helps you really actually learn dhamma and be able to apply Buddhist principles that sometimes in lay life you're a bit too distracted to really take note of and take seriously. So yeah, the amount of peace here is really contributing to the level of happiness that myself and many other participants are experiencing right now.
Right. Yeah, and what made you want to become a monk? Because before this you were doing what, loans?
Loan officer. Yeah.
You were working in politics.
Yeah.
Made good money. You can sustain a living. Then what shifted?
When I was doing loans, I remember I called a friend of mine and I told him, hey look, in a year I want to be in Thailand meditating. Do you want to come with me? And he said, yeah, I'll come with you. He's not here, by the way. but I just wasn't, it just didn't fit. The life, the jobs that I had, the career choices that I made, they just ultimately weren't what I really wanted. They were just things that I thought were suitable to do at the time.
Right.
I thought that eventually I would get back to Thailand and meditate. But around that time I made that decision. I said in a year I'm going to be here. So I ended up coming a lot earlier. I left within 6 months as opposed to a year. And I stayed at the temple and did some meditation before I actually became a monk for a few months.
Yeah, and working as a loan officer, working in politics, they made good money.
Yeah,
Why
decent
didn't
money.
you stay?
Actually, the day that I flew out, I got called for a contract, a campaign to go on to in the Midwest, and it was going to be really good pay. Mm-hmm. But I thought about how it actually takes a lot of courage sometimes to fulfill your destiny or to pursue and go for what it is that you really want. I think a lot of us, and me in particular, I waited and I stalled as much as I could because I didn't want to handle and take the responsibility of really stepping into what I actually really wanted to do.
What is it that you want to do?
I wanted to meditate a lot.
Yeah.
Like
And-
really practice and focus on spiritual development the way a monk or the way that a person in retreat would.
Yeah. And what's the difference between meditating as a monk versus meditating in lay life?
I think it depends on the level of the practitioner, because there are lay people that are very, very advanced meditators. For me personally,
Right.
as a lay person, I just wasn't really able to be as disciplined and serious about the precepts.
Right.
Other lay people are different, right? They are very good at that. They're fantastic meditators.
You can have good habits.
Exactly, exactly. But as a monk, you're here in the sangha. Your standard of conduct has to be elevated, because now everyone's looking at you, and you're in a community of people that are doing the same thing. I think in lay life, you're not really responsible for anyone but yourself and your family, and you're held up to their standards. But there's not a community
Right.
that is expecting you to have proper conduct,
Right.
to have proper speech, to hold yourself in a certain way, to meditate often, to study the Dhamma. That wasn't a thing in my lay life, at least.
Right. So it's a bit different when now, as a Buddhist monk, we rely on the support of the lay people.
Exactly.
We provide our clothing, our shelter, our food, and our medicine. So you kind of have a responsibility.
To be a good monk.
Yeah.
Like the last thing you want to do is eat the food and know that you're not living up to the expectations and the wishes and standards that the lay people see you in.
Right.
That's a horrible feeling. That food we need to be grateful for, and because we're supported by the lay people in the Buddhist community, we have to practice ourselves to the best that we can and be the best monk
Right.
possible.
Yeah. What is your overall impression of the IDOP program? This is a program that gives international people an opportunity to train as a monk, to live as a monk in a monastery. That the language is in Chinese, also language is focused in English as well.
It's not a picnic. It's not a picnic.
Explain.
People see the videos and they see the pictures, and it's all serene and it's all peaceful and it's all happy, and they think that they're gonna come here and it's gonna be like a walk in the park, and it's not like that. It's tough, but when you come and you step up and you put your best foot forward and you really put your heart into everything that you do, and you start meditating, there's a huge benefit, there's a huge payoff. It's much better than if it was just some lackadaisical thing that took no effort or dedication.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that it is excruciatingly hard, but I would say that for some people it will be a bit harder than it is for others. Waking up really early, doing everything on a regimented schedule, it's tough for some people.
Yeah.
I've done this for a while, it's not so hard for me. But
Explain tough. Get into the details of what is tough about it. Is it a mental game? Is it a physical game? Is it habits? What is
it's habits.
Okay. What
It's
about
habits. It's like if you're not used to waking up at a certain time, if you're not used to being told what to do, you might have a tough time. It's kind of like military training in a way, but we're not working out. We're just doing everything together. We're doing everything as a group. We wake up at the same time, we go to sleep at the same time, we eat together, we pray together, we meditate together, we walk together. We do everything together.
And why is meditation so important to you?
I think it's in my bones. I think people are built for certain things. I think some people are built to be rich, some people are built to work in politics, some people are built to be doctors and lawyers, and I feel that I was built to meditate. That's the thing that I really, really love to do.
Natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can anyone meditate?
Oh yeah, of course. Anyone can meditate. Anyone with a mind can meditate.
Yeah.
So it's as easy as taking a shower. Once people get the hang of it, it's a very simple thing. Just being able to sit down, relax, and let go for a moment.
Yeah. And you mentioned, we talked about this before, but when you're meditating, you have a good feeling, whether that's inner peace, joy. Can you explain what that is? That feeling, or that stillness, or sabai, any words you want to use, but can you describe what that is?
I think the Buddha was quoted to say that there's no greater happiness beyond serenity of the mind. Stillness is the greatest happiness, something along those lines. And when you meditate and the mind really comes to a stop, it comes to a standstill, it's, for a lot of people, it's the first time they experience happiness that's not tied to something external. It's a happiness that's not based on a condition that's outside of their body. It's a happiness that's truly of the mind itself. And my perspective on it is that the mind is coming back home. It's coming back to its original luminosity, its original happiness. It's like when we were children, we were really happy. And then as we grow up, we get conditioned with all these thoughts and experiences that we go through, and gradually we lose that happiness and innocence and brightness that kids have. And when we meditate, it's like returning to that original purity. And the mind is already pure and bright. And that's what we're meditating for, really, to get back in touch with that.
So you're a smart guy. You're an intellect. Like, you like to read a lot. You like to learn a lot. You like to study the Tipitaka, everything. Buddhist related, spirituality related. But what's the difference now between learning knowledge-wise versus having an actual experience here?
Here for me, I've meditated a lot, but what I haven't done a lot of is character development. Working on improving your good habits and trying to eliminate and reduce your bad habits.
You have bad habits?
Of course. But yeah, that aspect of the training is really important. Every day we recite the 10 reminders of a bhikkhu, and one of them is what good habits are we able to improve and which bad habits are we eliminating. That was never a part of my training and practice in my lay life.
And then regarding your meditation, when you can get into like this stillness place or this sabai place, how do you get there?
Personally, I don't do anything. I just sit there, and usually if I let go, if I'm not sleepy, and if I'm not agitated, I just feel this dropping into the center feeling, and then the stillness is there. But for a long time, I had to either watch the breath or use the mantra, or put my mind on the object first. But now I just be still, and then the object comes by itself.
And then also in this program, we have tutoring monks from Gongroi that comes to help you guys, assist you in teaching the proper technique, the proper method, also breaking you guys up into small groups and helping you with hindrances and obstacles. What is that experience like, and is it helpful?
Oh, it's super helpful, because one of the issues is if you don't have someone checking up on your progress or asking you what's going on in your meditation, you could be doing the wrong thing for a long time. But because you have these interviews with the teaching monks and you have these workshop type sessions with the other monks, you get to hear what your other peers are experiencing, and you get to hear the teaching monks give advice on their experiences too.
In this moment, standing here in Chiang Mai, the wind's blowing, it's a beautiful weather around. In this moment, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Explain.
I sacrificed a lot to be here. I had a lot going and a lot of fantastic friends and family at home, and it took a lot to turn away from things and come and do this. And I'm proud of that I'm able to be a monk and follow these precepts and practice meditation and be with other people that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, was it worth it?
Oh, 100%. Definitely worth it. I waited a long time. Yeah. I wanted to do this for many years.
For yourself?
For myself, yeah.
Last question is, what's the biggest thing you've learned, maybe about yourself, about life, takeaway from this whole experience? Just one golden nugget.
Put your heart into everything that you do. And everything that you do does matter, and it does count, whether someone's watching or whether someone isn't, because at the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself. You know when you're being lazy, you know when you're not putting your best foot forward, you know when you're starting to slip up. And I think we just kind of have a culture of disconnect, at least back where I'm from, and it's easy to let things slide. And when you've done that for long enough, gradually you've let yourself slide. And I think the way back is just put your heart into everything you do. even the small things like washing dishes, walking, chores, talking, meditating. Put your heart into it.
Yeah, so really understanding the essence that everything, small, big, seen, unseen, visible, physical, it all makes a difference. Every action, every thought, every choice, every feeling, mood has an impact, has a consequence.
Exactly. That's karma, right?
It is.
Buddhist 101.
Buddhism 101. Done. So, Satu.
Satu.
Thank you for